Hi, this lesson is about objective pronouns me, te, le, nos, os, les, part 2. Hola, esta lección es sobre pronombres objetivos me, te, le, nos, os, les, parte 2. Hi, welcome again to Spanish for London. I am Laura and today we will continue studying objective pronouns. You probably finished the part 1, which was about the pronouns working as direct object, and in that lesson I explained what is a direct and what is an indirect object. So if you don't remember that, please watch that video again. So I will continue now with the indirect object. Remember, the indirect object is the person for whom the action is intended. So if I say, he gives me the book, he did something for a particular person, which in this case is me. That's why this is the indirect object. This is the form that we are going to study today. The pronouns working as an indirect object, which are me, te, le, nos, os, les. So remember also that, as I explained in the first part of this lesson, in English, the pronoun goes after the verb. So we say he gives me the book, but in Spanish it goes first. I say él me da el libro, so you have to put it in front and not after the verb. So let's see, how do we say he gives me the book? Él me da el libro. He gives you the book. Él te da el libro. He gives him or her or you formal the book. Él le da el libro. So to say to him or to her, we have only one form in Spanish, which is always le. We don't distinguish here. Is he gives the book to Mary or to John, is the same. Él le da el libro. He gives us the book. Él nos da el libro. He gives you the book. Él os da el libro. And he gives them or you the book. Él les da el libro. So again, me, te, le, nos, os, les are indirect objects. And do you know what? Do you have another lesson, which is a very important lesson about verbs of effect? This is a special group of verbs, and the verb gustar, meaning to like, is comprised in that lesson. In that particular lesson, you will see that some verbs have these pronouns always. For example, gustar, when I say me gusta, I like something. Te gusta, you like something. Le gusta, he or she likes something. So it will be useful for you to understand this, not only to use them on their own, but also to use them, for example, with that type of verbs. Let's continue. Now, okay, so now you know that me, te, le, nos, os, les are the pronouns for the indirect object. But what happens when I want to say he gives it to me? When I want to say he gives it to me, here I have the direct object and here I have the indirect object. So I have two forms, one following the other. So he gives it to me, él me lo da, if I'm talking about a masculine item, or él me la da if I'm talking about a feminine item. So he gives it to me. Él me lo da o él me la da. He gives it to you. Él te lo da or él te la da. So if I say he gives the book to you, he gives it to you, will be él te lo da, because it's el libro. If I'm talking about the folder, I say él te la da, because the folder is la carpeta. Now, here, he gives it to him, to her, or to you formal. Okay, I explained in the last slide that the form here should be le. Él le da el libro, compare. Él le da el libro. He gives the book to him, to her, or to you, formal. But here, I didn't put le, but se. Why? This is because if I say el le lo da, it produces an uncomfortable sound for us. So we change for se to avoid saying something uncomfortable for our Spanish ears. So instead of el le lo da o el le la da, in this case, when the le form or the les form is followed by lo or la, we change for se. This is called the cacophonic se. Cacophonic is related to an unpleasant sound. Okay. El se lo da o el se la da. El nos lo da o el nos la da. He gives it to us. El os lo da o el os la da. He gives it to you both or all. And el se lo da o el se la da, he gives it to them or to you, formal plural. So put se instead of le, les when it is followed by lo, los, la, las. This is only to avoid an uncomfortable sound. Another important thing is that sometimes you say, les di la tarea, sentence number 1, or les di la tarea a los estudiantes, sentence number 2. Les di la tarea means I gave the task or the homework, because homework could be translated as los deberes or la tarea. It's the same, it's a synonym. So I gave the homework to them. Les di la tarea. But if I need more clarification, I can say, les di la tarea a los estudiantes. So I gave the homework to the students. Notice that in both cases, I put les. So the indirect object in sentence number 1 is here. And in sentence number 2 is here, but I need to clarify to whom. So to be more precise, I put here a los estudiantes. So both sentences are absolutely correct in Spanish. You can put only the pronoun, or you can put the pronoun and the specification. What you cannot do is this, which is completely wrong, and is sentence number 3. Di la tarea a los estudiantes. So again, I gave the homework to the students. And unfortunately, listen this, a lot of non-native speakers think that this is correct. So if someone tells you that this is correct, this person doesn't know Spanish, because you cannot do this in Spanish. It's a grammatical mistake. So di la tarea a los estudiantes is incorrect. You can say this or this. And the same with all the forms, with me, te, le, nos, os, les. Good. Now, another thing. What happens when I use the indirect object with an infinitive or with a gerund? Remember that infinitive is the name of the verb, which in Spanish always ends with ar, er, or ir. So, escribir, to write, leer, to read, hablar, to speak are infinitives. So, when I have an infinitive in the phrase, escribir in my example, I can say for I'm going to write you, so you say, Laura, could you send me a message? Yes, I'm going to write you later. Te voy a escribir, correct. Or voy a escribirte, correct. So you can put the form, which is in blue, the indirect object, at the beginning or at the end. Both are considered correct. Well, actually, there is a subtlety here, but you don't need to know that in order to speak correct Spanish. The absolutely correct form is this one, and I know why, but you don't need to know. This is absolutely correct, but if you say this, it's considered correct because a lot of native speakers say this. So, te voy a escribir or voy a escribirte. Both are correct, but remember that when I say escribirte, o escribirme, o escribiros, o escribirles, it's only one word. But when you say te voy a escribir, o le voy a escribir, o os voy a escribir, you have two words. And exactly the same happens with the gerund. Remember that the gerund is the equivalent to the ing. In my example, writing, escribiendo. You have a specific lesson about the gerunds, the ing forms in Spanish, because you have to know when they work in the same way as in English and when they don't. So go to the lesson about the ing. So with the gerund, escribiendo, writing, hablando, speaking, all of them are gerunds. Exactly the same as with the infinitive. I can say, I'm writing it, lo estoy escribiendo, or estoy escribiéndolo. So I say, for example, hey Eugene, have you written the essay, and the Spanish essay? And Jane says, I am writing it right now. Lo estoy escribiendo or estoy escribiéndolo. And again, here you put this in front and you have two words, and here you have only one word. So with the pronouns for direct or indirect object, you can put them in both positions and there is no problem at all. So when using an infinitive or a gerund, you can change the position of the pronoun. Both forms are considered correct. And that's the end of the theory. Now go, do your exercises and practice and use them talking and writing in your assignments at school. And see you next lesson with a new topic. Nos vemos la próxima clase con un nuevo tema en Spanish for London. Adiós, adiós.